Good morning, Jenny, and welcome to Accountants Are Sexy, Change My Mind, the podcast that's going to revolutionise the accounting industry and show everyone who you really are at your heart. So, Jenny,
yes, hello.
Would you like to give a quick explanation of who you are and what you do?
Who am I? God, I don't know. I am a bookkeeper. I am the owner, founder, whatever. It sounds a bit pompous when you go, oh yes, I'm the CEO. I've got one man. But yeah, I started Well Balanced, and we offer bookkeeping and beyond.
And beyond. Now, the beyond bit is quite interesting because you're SEMA as well.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yeah, I am. So I'm a qualified accountant. I'm a member of the Xero there. Chartered Institute of Management Accountants. Got my certificate proudly displayed on the wall now. It's only taken me 10 years to get up there. But yeah, I trained when I started my career. I was working in industry, and I was working in manufacturing. SEMA's got a bit of a costing base, so I decided to go down that route. And then I never really planned to work for myself or have my own business at the time.
Yeah, you've got quite an interesting backstory, really, of how you've kind of fallen into this role. How did accounting find you?
Well, yeah, I obviously grew up dreaming all the time of wanting to be an accountant, as everybody does. For the very first days when I was counting little blocks, it was No, I was doing a degree in English and art. As you do, very linked to the accountancy industry, and
where most accountants start, I think.
Yeah, exactly. I dropped out, needed a job, and a recruitment agency went, "Oh, you've got an A-level in maths. Let's put you in accounts," and that was the beginning of my career.
Yeah, just like, oh look, there is something with numbers. Let's stick you there.
Yeah, because you can do maths. You must need to be an accountant. The fact is that my mental maths is horrendous.
Oh really?
And I can't keep a number in my head.
Yeah.
I have calculators and spreadsheets for that.
Yeah, I said to 3 accountants yesterday when we were talking about a marketing project. I was like, if you ever talk to me about numbers, just remember that I will not retain that information. I need that written down. I need to see it visually. But I've come to learn that over the past 41 years.
Well, I blame it on the fact that I see so many numbers that none of them are special to me. So.
Oh yeah, it's a good way of saying it.
None of them stand out. So yeah.
I can't visualize it. If it's not a pretty picture, I can't see it.
Yeah, we should probably tell that to my ex-husband, who used to get really annoyed that I could never remember his phone number.
Yeah, that too. Unless it's in a pattern, obvious, and then that helps. So you position your company in a different way to other accountants. You are bookkeeping and beyond. You're not an accountant that does bookkeeping. So why is that?
It started off, I won't lie, it was basically insecurity. It was just the fact that I hadn't done like year ends, corporation tax returns, tax planning, all that stuff. I've been working in industry. So all I wanted at the very beginning was to do a bit of bookkeeping around my kids. No kind of big thing about it. It was just going to be a stopgap. And so I didn't want to pitch myself as an accountant, because I kind of thought, well, if I turn up and go, no, don't do that, who's going to want to work with me? But I also didn't want to pitch myself as just a bookkeeper, because I have a higher skill set than that. So I kind of sit somewhere in the middle.
I like it. I think bookkeeping is undervalued by most business owners. Yeah. It's literally the linchpin to all of your accounts. If it's not done correctly, everything falls apart and doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, I mean, I get a lot of my referrals are from people who've got accountants, because they see that as the valuable bit. Yeah, that's the bit, you get the year end, you get HMRC happy. That's what you need to do. And then they come to me when they're having trouble getting the information for their accountants. And then I can change the way their business works, because once you get in and you see the numbers and you can see the value of having them up to date and the information it can give you, then it starts to sort of change the way you look at the process. But until then, it's just an admin job that people want to get rid of.
Yeah, it's quite bonkers really, and it's taken me. I mean, I've been working with accountants on and off for the past 7 years. Obviously, more so in the recent times, but it's taken me a while to really catch up and understand the value of bookkeeping myself. Even for the monthly management reports. Now, how accurate can they be if your files and everything are not up to date? If you're not sure on what you're spending?
Exactly, it's this whole sort of quality of information. It's
Yeah.
I mean, I always say to people, it's not complicated to do your bookkeeping well. You have to have an awareness of certain rules.
You have to also do it.
But yeah, one, you have to do it, and two, you have to be consistent with it.
Yeah.
So you can't put something to one code one day and something to the same code another day. That's when your accountant starts going, why have you done this? Why have you done that? Why is that there? Why is this here?
Yeah.
My clients hopefully don't have to field too many questions from their accountants for two reasons. One, because I always know what the accountants need and I've put everything where it needs to be. And two, because I talk to the accountants instead.
Right.
And we speak number geek to each other, so the clients don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I love nerding out. I love it.
Then I just translate at the end and go,
I feel like my role is more of a conduit between accountant speak and human speak, but I definitely don't understand all accountant speak. Sometimes it goes over my head and I say, you can't talk about that because nobody understands what you're saying.
But occasionally that'll be me as well, and I'll just go, do you mean so and so? And like, yeah, okay, great. I mean, I've had meetings with accountants where what they need to say is, your director's loan is basically money that the company owes you.
Yeah.
What they'll say is like 5 minutes worth of stuff using technical terms that don't make any sense. And I think that was where all my skill set always lay when I was in industry. Was my job was very much working with people on the ground. So one job it was factory workers, in another job it was people managing cleaners and things like that. People who don't have a finance background. So you have to be able to translate from accountant speak into English to work with these people. And so I've always brought that with me. I don't talk in accountant speak unless I really need to explain something.
Well, I've seen your posting on LinkedIn. I'm going to call it marketing, but it's more like network connecting. It's quite casual and I love it.
Brain dumping.
Brain dumping, but it is really approachable and friendly and honest, and that's one of the things that I picked up about your LinkedIn profile and why I wanted you to come onto the podcast, because I think it's a difficult thing to do for accountants. They're so head down into the processes of their business and the compliance side that they forget they need to humanize it. Would you say that's accurate or not accurate of the industry?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's one of the reasons why I've been hard to I can't think of getting a job anymore. It's because when you kind of have it drilled into you that you've got to be sensible, you've got to be serious, you've got to wear a suit and all that stuff, and then there's no rules on it. But when people start going out that road on their own, they just try and replicate this big corporate persona. And what I've found especially is that people have approached me and gone, I want to talk to you because you're not like all the others, you're not what I expect an accountant to be. And that's the whole point, is that you don't need to be. You can still have all the knowledge and the experience and be a person.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I know loads of accountants who are people, who are great people, they're good fun to be with, but they don't put that out there.
Yeah, so they have these personas like for themselves. So this is my work persona, here is my facade, and this is my personal life, and this is who I am here. And it's hard to keep that up. And I find that, I think I used to be like that myself. I was a corporate salesperson, so I'd go in there, I'd be very strong, and then I'd come home and I'd be like all and just my total normal self. And the energy it takes to be those two people is quite astounding. And when you start drifting into who you are, when you're in your work mode, it just frees you up, I find.
Yeah, to be honest, I mean, not just from a work point of view, but personally, starting my own business has been a bit of a revelation, because I was really feeling that true lives thing quite a bit about a couple of years ago. My marriage wasn't great, and I had kids at home, and I'd kind of lost my identity being a mum a bit. And going out and networking and talking to people and putting my voice out there for Well Balanced was kind of the only time I really felt like I was really being me.
Yeah.
And I've managed to bring everything into line to sort of make that throughout my life now. But it was really difficult at a time, and I've totally felt that corporate thing as well. You know, you go to work and you have to be somebody else, and it's not fun, and it's not necessary, especially not. I mean, at the very beginning, I used to wrestle with myself over whether I'd be allowed to wear like jeans to meet clients and things like that. You could always tell when I was having a client meeting because I would be dressed differently.
Yeah. But then to feel differently.
I still felt like an imposter, so I still felt like I was winging it, so it didn't really matter. And now, like, I'll meet them in jeans and stripy trainers and nobody says anything.
And that's how they want and expect you. So I think it's about expectation, isn't it? So there are, and especially if we just take LinkedIn as an example, there are so many people who are employed that have a different view of what people should be, because they're employed and they're in a system.
Yeah.
Whereas if you break out just for a second and look at small business owners, we're all individuals, and we need to be as individual as possible. So, you know, you've got red hair, I've got red hair, different types of red hair, but you know, it's being able to express yourself is now a necessity for us, because we need to be able to connect with people.
Yeah, I mean, you search for a bookkeeper, there's millions of them.
Totally.
Got, you know, some people qualified by experience, some people like me overqualified. There's a whole range of people doing it, and I'm not saying anybody's doing a particularly good or bad job. I mean, I've met accountants that are horrific, and I've met totally unqualified people who know everything. So, you know, but you find that the only way to differentiate is by putting your personality out there, or having a strong brand, or both, preferably.
Yeah. So tell me then about the brand and how that's come alive for you.
Oh, I love my brand. The name was like completely random. I just sort of brainstormed a load of words to do with accountancy and stuff, and I didn't want to be like Jennie Holyoake accountant, and I didn't want to be Jennie Holyoake bookkeeper. I wanted to keep my name out of it, but I also wanted, it's a good job because my name's changed since I started the business. But I didn't want to like label myself as bookkeeper or accountant, because people then have expectations about what you can and can't do.
Yeah.
So I just wanted something relatively related, and Well Balanced just struck a chord with me. I do often get people at networking go, is it health and well-being? And I'm like, no, it's bookkeeping. And they go, oh, I get it. And, I thought initially, I was like, should I rethink this? When people started asking me that, but I thought, well, no.
Yeah.
The whole point is not being what people expect. That's what I want.
Yeah. And it's not just about the balanced books either, is it? It's about a balanced perspective, and it's about a bit more. It's a bit more than just your books.
Yeah, well, it's about life as well. You know, I started my business when my little boy was coming up for 1, because I wanted to be able to spend time with him. So it's about balancing work and kids as well. It's about, and you know, I love to write. That's why I enjoy being on LinkedIn so much, because I love to write. But that's not a normal thing for a number geek. It usually tends to be words or numbers, not both.
Yeah.
I suppose that's another balance aspect that comes into it. It has, I think it struck a chord because it has a much deeper application than I thought it did in the first place.
Yeah. And what about the look and the feel of your brand? How did you decide on that?
I had a lot of help with that. So initially I'd made my own logo, my own website. I started making my website, and there was all these pictures of, like, you know, these kind of blue filter pictures of someone at a desk with their hands on a keyboard, or someone with some glasses looking at a report. And I was like, I can't have these images on my website. So I was just looking for an image to replace something while I was deciding what to put in there, and I found an apple.
Okay.
An apple or a banana, I can't remember. It was a piece of fruit. And the next time I went to replace a picture, I just replaced that with another piece of fruit. So these bits of fruit stayed on my website for a very long time because I thought, I like that. It's just a bit weird. And, you know.
Weird is good. I like weird.
Yeah, I remember throwing it out to a group of people. One person said that would put me off. Another person said that would make me want to work with you. And I thought, which of those two people do I want to work with? Not the one who'd be put off by fruit. So I left it. And that kind of
underlying problems if they can't look at a banana straight, right?
Well, let's face it, we've all got different opinions on bananas. Let's not go there. But yeah, so that stuck with me for ages, and my logo was like this pile of fruit on a calculator. Okay. It was horrendous.
That's a bit odd, I've got to say.
There might still be traces of it somewhere on the internet if you Google hard enough.
I'm hoping so.
It was really bad. But then I met, I'm going to name drop, the amazing Christian Routley from Phase, and he's a good friend of mine. And when it came to rebranding, I knew I had to have a word with him. We went through this massive process. He asked me so many questions, like some really weird questions. If your business was an animal, what animal would it be? And all these things. But basically the only brief I gave him was, don't put any of those stock images on my website. Okay. I do not want it to look shiny and blue and corporate. And so he did an amazing job, and literally I thought I was really terrified. He told me I had to get rid of the fruit, which I was a bit upset about. And like, you know, it's very personal.
Replace it with puppies, right?
I've got some dogs. There are dogs. There's dogs and robots and a woman with a unicorn head.
Amazing.
Yeah, there's lots of things. He knows me well enough to know how random he can get.
Yeah.
And so he created this lovely brand for me. It's nice and it's quite simplistic. A nice little friendly smiley face in the middle, and just very colourful and very bright, and just all the things I wanted to show the world, I suppose.
This is an amazing story. Like you've had a few influencers come in and kind of help you. I remember when we spoke before, you mentioned Chris Williams as well has helped you with LinkedIn. So tell me about that experience.
Yeah, Chris has been amazing actually. I did one of his LinkedIn courses. So he does this one, used to be called Write Less Shit Content. He's not allowed to swear because it's been banned too many times. So I think it's called Write Better Content now. Yeah. But you get like a week's worth of challenges. So every day he sets you what you've got to post on LinkedIn, what time of day you've got to post it. And then at the end of the week, you get feedback on your best and worst post. And I don't put myself out there for things like that. I do not like getting feedback because I don't like people to say bad things about me. I'm a delicate flower. But the way he delivered the feedback was really kind of balanced. I know Chris has got his online persona is very cheeky and he kind of pushes the boundaries a lot.
I like it a lot.
I did wonder what I was going to get from him, but it was actually really measured, really balanced, and it was really constructive. And a few months later I put a shout on LinkedIn. I was like, does anyone, I'm looking for a coach. You know, I need a business coach to help me sort my business out. I know I can grow, but I just need a little bit of a kick getting there. And he messaged me, he was like, what sort of thing are you looking for? So I said, well, this time. He went, did you know I do coaching? I was like,
no.
So talk to this lady. And that was it. Put me in touch with somebody else who'd been working with him. She sang his praises and I went, yeah, let's do this. And I thought that's got to be the best like sales pitch in the world. Like,
absolutely.
Talk to somebody else. You know, it wasn't even trying to sell it to me. It was like, you know, I'm good at it and I know my clients will speak for themselves.
Definitely. And I think there's people do need that extra kick up the bum, don't they, to perform. So sometimes it's hard getting your opinions out there. It's hard like thinking about things to say all the time. What should I say? When should I say it? Who should I say it to? And you need that extra person in the business on occasions. I mean, everybody does.
Yeah, so we work together weekly. And there was a big focus on LinkedIn content, but also on sort of other internal things, you know, pricing and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, it's all 7Ps of marketing. You got to get it all done.
I hate pricing. It's awful. But,
is that because you're a bookkeeper and that's like typically really hard to price, or is that just emotions come into play?
No, it's just because I think I have quite a personal relationship with my clients. To the point where, you know, half of all of our conversations are about their lives and their families and things like that, not so much about work. They know all about my divorce and everything that's happened with that, and I know about what's been going on in their lives, and so it's difficult then to go and approach a conversation where you're like, I'm gonna have to charge you more money. But
you need some way of taking that emotion out of it and it being a bit more, this is how we do it.
Yeah, and it was also a bit of it was almost like almost this fear that maybe I'm not doing a good enough job and they'll push back against it.
Yeah.
And as it was, most of them went, yeah, fine, it's all right, you're doing a good job, we're okay with it. And that was not what I expected.
Yeah, it's good. Sometimes you just need somebody to tell you, come on, sort your shit out. I
need somebody to push me occasionally to get out of my comfort zone, and that's something I've done a lot. You know, using video on LinkedIn is something that has helped me sort of get past.
Yeah. Funnily enough, I was going to ask you, what kind of challenges are coming up that you're facing now in your marketing? How out of your comfort zone are you now? You've been doing LinkedIn marketing for a while.
Yeah, video was one of my biggest things to overcome. Yeah, and Chris put me in touch with Jess Taylor. I don't know if you've ever spoken to her. She's incredible. We had a few sessions and she really helped me get past it, because it sounds really ridiculous, but I was having full on, like, I would cry at the thought of recording a video.
Me too.
Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah, I would break down into shakes and tears after every video, and even if it was just recording myself, I would just be terrified.
Yeah.
I went through a whole process of it.
I'm not the only weirdo.
Like literal tears, sobbing sometimes.
So I think that was probably the biggest thing I've got over.
Good.
And now,
and look at us
now. Now you get me singing on videos and all sorts of things.
Wow, what a turnaround. And do you think video is important for your marketing?
I don't know. I don't consume video very much. Like, one, I tend to have quite a sweary network, so I'm never 100% sure if it's safe for kids. So I have to try and find time when the kids aren't there, or like headphones or whatever to watch it. But I just find it, I mean, it's easier for me to read than it is to watch a video.
Yeah.
But I know from sort of everybody else's point of view, the video is quite a good thing, and I always get quite good responses when I put video out there. So
yeah, it's a hard one, isn't it? Typically, I find that the video is less engaged, but you get a better return from it. So people say, oh well, I feel like I know you, you know, and you get that a lot when you create video. But you don't seem to get a lot of engagement like all the time from it. Yeah. Yeah, it's a hard one.
Yeah, it is. But
so sorry.
I was going to say, I think you just need a mix. So, you know, if I've been posting lots of long posts over and over again, I think, you know, maybe I need to mix it up a little bit, put something different in. When I posted yesterday about putting stripes in my lawn, so I did a little video like that.
Doesn't everyone?
It's proper grown-up stuff, that is.
So we're coming to kind of the end of the time, really, which is a shame. But I know I've asked you this question before, and I think you gave a stonkingly good answer. So, what's the sexiest thing about accounting?
Me. No, I think I did my little like BNI 60 seconds, didn't I?
You did. So and can we have it, please?
Yeah, go on. I'll do a little bit of background. So we had a challenge. We were all out the night before, and we had a challenge to write a sexy 60 seconds. There's only a few of us did it, but you know, let's see how sexy accountants really are. I am going to read this. So, ever since I started training as a bookkeeper, I've loved a good bit of double entry. Teasing those debits and credits until they come together can be an exceptionally satisfying experience. A lot of accountants focus on compliance, and while I can be compliant if I'm in the right mood, it's not really my thing. I prefer to take my time, work into every nook and cranny of the accounts, gradually building up a picture of the assets, going over it all in detail bit by bit, piecing it together and gently manipulating the ledgers to reach a deliciously balanced bottom line. Some might think that's all a bookkeeper's good for, a quick way to capitalise your assets and get straight to the profit, but I can offer so much more than that. I can use the numbers to show my clients what's really making their business tick, what drives their performance to become something truly gratifying, where small tweaks can be made to really thrust the business towards the absolute peak of achievement. So if you know anyone who needs motivation to achieve a fruitful conclusion while maintaining the momentum that keeps all parties satisfied, then Well Balanced can fulfil their needs.
Amazing. Well done. I love it. And just wondering, is the fruitful conclusion because you had fruit on your website, or was it just a coincidence?
But it's obviously that on brand.
That's been magic. Well, thank you ever so much for coming on Accountants Are Sexy. Changed my mind. If people want to get hold of you and see the content that you're producing and maybe joining the conversations, LinkedIn is a good place for this.
Yep, I'm Well Balanced Jen on LinkedIn or wellbalanceduk.com, my website.
That's magic. Thank you ever so much for your time.
Thank you.